Dr. Marcus Fletcher had always prided himself on his meticulous nature and dedication to his profession. As one of the top surgeons at St. Mary's Hospital, his skills and reputation were unparalleled. However, his latest assignment was unlike any he had ever encountered. Investigating a potential fraud case at a neighboring hospital, Rosewood General. The rumors had started innocently enough. A few whispers among colleagues, some concerning discrepancies in patient records, and a couple of oddities in financial statements. But as the murmurs grew louder, the administration at St. Mary's couldn't ignore them any longer. Dr. Fletcher, with his keen eye for detail and unwavering integrity, was chosen to dig deeper. Marcus arrived at Rosewood General early on a rainy Tuesday morning. The hospital, though only a few miles from St. Mary's, felt worlds apart. There was an air of tension that he couldn't quite place. He was greeted by Dr. Evelyn Harris, the chief of surgery at Rosewood. She was cordial but seemed distracted, as if she was hiding something. She thanked him for coming and mentioned how they appreciated his expertise in this matter. Marcus nodded and expressed his intention to help in any way he could. He requested to be directed to the records department first to get a sense of the anomalies they were dealing with. The day was spent poring over files, cross-referencing patient charts, and sifting through mountains of paperwork. The discrepancies were subtle but consistent: unnecessary procedures, inflated billing, and inexplicable gaps in patient care. It was clear something was amiss, but Marcus knew he needed more concrete evidence. The next day, Marcus decided to observe the operating room procedures firsthand. He scrubbed in for a routine gallbladder surgery, performed by Dr. Harris herself. As he entered the OR, a familiar environment that should have put him at ease, a sense of unease washed over him. The staff seemed on edge, their movements stiff and rehearsed. The surgery began smoothly enough, but halfway through, Marcus noticed something odd. The instruments being used were outdated and in poor condition. He also noticed a peculiar scar on the patient's abdomen, which indicated a previous surgery that was not mentioned in the patient's history. Marcus asked Dr. Harris if he could speak to her for a moment, keeping his voice calm but firm. Evelyn hesitated but nodded, stepping away from the table. Marcus motioned for her to follow him into the scrub room. He demanded to know what was going on, questioning why the patient's history was incomplete and why substandard equipment was being used. Evelyn's face turned pale. She glanced around nervously before answering, insisting that she didn't know what he was talking about and that the equipment was perfectly fine, along with the patient's history as it was given to them. Marcus wasn't convinced. He returned to the OR, his mind racing. As the surgery concluded, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. He needed more proof. Later that night, Marcus stayed late at the hospital, accessing files and security footage with the help of a sympathetic IT technician. What he found was shocking: videos of surgeries where unnecessary procedures were performed, patients being billed for treatments they never received, and a clear pattern of fraudulent activity. With this new evidence, Marcus confronted Dr. Harris the following morning. He told her he had proof and accused her and the hospital of being involved in a massive fraud scheme, demanding to know why. Evelyn broke down, tears streaming down her face. She confessed that she had no choice, explaining that the hospital was in financial trouble and the board pressured her, threatening her job and license. She claimed she didn't know what else to do. Marcus felt a mix of anger and pity. He told her she should have spoken up, emphasizing that there are always choices. He assured her they had to fix this now. In the following weeks, with Marcus's help, an official investigation was launched. The fraudulent activities were exposed, leading to several arrests, including some high-ranking members of the hospital's board. Dr. Harris resigned, facing her own legal battles. Back at St. Mary's, Marcus was hailed as a hero. But for him, the experience was a sobering reminder of the fragility of integrity and the importance of vigilance in the medical profession. As he walked through the bustling halls of his own hospital, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. His job wasn't just about saving lives. It was about preserving the trust and honor that his profession demanded. He would never take that for granted again. After the dust had settled, Marcus couldn't help but reflect on the whirlwind of events. He thought about the faces of the patients who had been wronged, the trust they placed in their caregivers shattered. He knew that the road to recovery for Rosewood General would be long and arduous. Patients needed reassurance that they were safe, that they could trust the hands they were in. One afternoon, Marcus received a call from a former patient of Rosewood. It was a young woman named Lily, who had undergone multiple unnecessary surgeries. Her voice trembled as she recounted her experiences, the pain and confusion she had endured. Marcus listened intently, offering her the comfort and validation she so desperately needed. Lily's story lit a fire within Marcus. He realized that his role in this saga wasn't over. He began advocating for the affected patients, working closely with legal teams to ensure they received the compensation and justice they deserved. His actions went beyond the confines of his surgical duties. He was now a champion for those who had been wronged. Word of Marcus's dedication spread, and soon, other hospitals and medical professionals reached out to him for guidance. He found himself giving talks and workshops on medical ethics and the importance of transparency in healthcare. His journey from a dedicated surgeon to a prominent advocate was both unexpected and fulfilling. Through it all, Marcus never forgot the lesson he had learned. Integrity in the medical field wasn't just a professional obligation. It was a moral imperative. He vowed to uphold these values in every aspect of his work, inspiring others to do the same. As he stood in the operating room once more, preparing for another routine surgery, Marcus felt a profound sense of purpose. He glanced around at his team, their expressions focused and determined. In that moment, he knew that together, they could make a difference. They could ensure that every patient received the care, respect, and honesty they deserved. And for Marcus, that was the greatest victory of all. Thank you so much for watching this video. I put a link down below about something very interesting you'll like. Go check that out. Subscribe for more daily content. See you on the next one.